Do you know that movie scene where the clock marks 3 a.m. and the person wakes up sweating cold? Yeah, she wasn't just on the screens. Women from 50 live this, night after night. The body fires an inner alarm, the sheet becomes a damp towel, and the heart looks like it runs without you getting out of place. The next day, those who needed energy to work, take care of the house, or play with their grandchildren face the morning as if crossing a desert. The good news? This script doesn't have to repeat yourself. You can edit the next scene. Naturally, you have already wondered, is it only me going through this? And the answer is, no way. Research shows that more than half of menopause women report these sweaty awakenings. What happens is a short circuit between the hormones and the thermometer of the brain, which confuses the actual temperature of the body. The consequence is this sudden heat that invades the chest, opens the vessels of the skin, and steals the deep sleep, just as it would be more repairing. And when sleep breaks, memory, mood, and even the immune system pay the bill early. To make matters worse, the brain tries to compensate for drowsing, releasing extra cortisone, that stress hormone that makes everything heavier. You can see in the scale, slower metabolism, will of sweet, short patience. But calm down, you are not condemned to live with the internal alarm clock locked at 3 in the morning. With some simple adjustments, right temperature, proper light, and a relaxation ritual, it is possible to reprogram the biological clock. Let's start by understanding how small changes saw great victories in practice. Next, we will discuss Teresa, 57, who was putting a double toll under the by-warranty pillow. All dawn, she changed the soaked pillowcase, was sipping and tried to go back to sleep with breaths. The day dawned, and instead of a walk in the square, came that mist in the head and the second reinforced coffee. Until Teresa heard of simple breathing techniques and how the room light could disrupt the melatonin. Curious, he decided to test for a week. First, it adjusted the lamp of the lamp to a very discreet amber tone after 8 at night. Then he opened the window at 7 in the morning to let the natural light warn the brain that was time to wake up. He also tried the 4-7-8 method before bedtime. Inspires 4 seconds, holds 7, released in 8. On the 5th day, he realized that he had only woken up once, without sweat and without tachycardia, and went back to sleep in less than 2 minutes. The toalhina, it became a bookmark of the book she reads every night, now with peace of mind. If Teresa did, why not you? None of these adjustments requires men or expensive consultation. Just understand what the body asks. In the next few minutes, we will practice the respiratory technique together and unravel other sleep thieves that live there in the room. Each step is quick to apply and proven by sleep medicine studies. Prepared to recover your dawn? So let's go ahead. Run over thoughts, the next day's agenda, passing as a bright sign inside the head. This whirlwind fires adrenaline, the hormone that prepares the body to escape, not to sleep. When the adrenaline rises, the heart beats faster and breathing shortens, signaling alert. In practice, it is as if the brain confuses the pillow with a running track. Result: tense body, light sleep, and more chance to wake up at 3 in the morning. The good news is that there is an emergency brake, the vagus nerve, our wire of calm inner. It connects the brain to the heart and diaphragm and can reduce beats in seconds. The 4-7-8 technique activates this wire. Inspire in 4, hold on 7, release in 8. When we hold the air, carbon dioxide rises gently, warning the brain that everything is safe. When it exhales slowly, the vague release acetylcholine, a messenger that slows the internal engine. Let's practice together and feel the difference, even sitting in bed. Exhale all the air through your mouth now, as if blowing in a candle. Inhale through the nose, counting 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath, counting up to 7. Firm breath, loose shoulders. Release slowly in 8 times, imagining emptying a balloon. Repeat more twice. Feel your breast relax and the wrist decrease. Harvard Medical School studies show an average drop of 10 beats per minute after 3 cycles. Less beats means smaller cortisol and free brain to start the non-DEM sleep cycle. The non-DEM is that phase in which the body releases growth hormone and repair tissues. Without this repair, muscles and joints wake up rigid, exactly what we want to avoid. Here is the first pillar: control the chemistry of stress before it steals the night. For many people, practicing 4-7-8 already reduces half of the awakening in 10 days. But there is another sleeping thief prowling the room as silent as a cell phone notification. We'll talk about him below, and I can say that it involves the way the light talks to melatonin. All ready to expose this luminous villain? It seems innocent to get the phone just to see the time. The screen lights up and bathes the retina in an intense blue light. In microseconds, IPRGC sensors warn the brain that it became noon. The pineal gland suspends melatonin output. The inner clock delays the next phase of deep sleep. A study from the University of Basel measured the effect on postmenopausal volunteers. 15 minutes of scroll reduced melatonin by 23%. The practical result? More awakening and shallow dreams. The dopamine takes over the command, keeping the thumb rolling the feed. This cycle addicts the brain faster than a square of chocolate. It's not just the brightness, it is the content full of stimuli. Alarming headlines, funny videos, bank alerts. Each touch releases adrenaline micropress. The brain interprets this as urgent subject to solve. Between urgency and sleep, the body always chooses wakefulness. There is a behavioral neuroscience trick called amber zone. After 8 p.m., any direct light migrates to hot tones. 2,700 K lamps simulate fire flame that does not block melatonin. Changing the lamp costs less than a streaming signature and releases the brain from the night solar deceit. For those who read on the tablet, activate the blue filter and choose sepia mode. Combine with amber glasses that cut 90% of short light. Research shows that the duo keeps melatonin at the physiological limit. In 10 nights, time until I fell asleep falls in half. Less latency, more complete repairing sleep cycles. Think about it, how to close the chemical curtains of the brain. When the light decreases, the pineal releases the dark hormone. The internal thermostat cools, preparing the body for deep waves of non-perm. Fogachos lose strength when the central temperature drops 0.5 degrees Celsius. This simple but powerful luminous adjustment prepares the stage for the following climax. When light, temperature, and breathing come into harmony, the body receives a clear signal. It's time to turn off. This synchronism begins in the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the conductor of the circadian rhythm. There, hundreds of neurons mark time as an inner metronome, oriented by light and shadow cycles. When the baton fails, hormones dance out of measure, and each phase of sleep loses depth. Resetting this cadence is the decisive step in turning agitated dawn into continuous nights. In menopause, estrogen drop loose thermal control and mess the production of melatonin. Without enough estrogen, serotonin also oscillates, reducing the feeling of well-being at dusk. The result is an extra push at the door of anxiety and insomnia. Small external adjustments can, however, compensate for internal fluctuation. Think of them as biochemical crutches that support the body until the clock reads. First, cool the nucleus. Lowering half degree to central temperature facilitates the entry into deep sleep. Then, offer the retina the right light. Smooth amber says dusk, while azul says work. Then trigger the vagus nerve with 4-7-8 breath, cutting the adrenaline release in seconds. Finally, feed the chemistry of rest with tryptophan and magnesium, melatonin bricks. 4 simple pillars, but capable of reconstructing complete 90-minute cycles. When these pillars align, non-family sleep waves gain strength and last longer. It is in them that growth hormone maintains muscle and joints, reducing morning pain. Soon after comes the REM, crucial phase to consolidate memories and regular emotions. Without interruption, the brain finishes this double service before the alarm clock plays. The body wakes up renewed without that hangover of tiredness that pushes to sugar and coffee. This is the climax. Turn the dawn of heat and anxiety into a free corridor until dawn. It is not about promising miracles, but of applying science to domestic and consistent doses. Each adjustment is simple, cheap, and controlled by one's own without depending on prescription. And every night well slept reinforces the next as interest composed in favor of health. Now that the ground is ready, it's time to set up the action plan step by step. In the next act, you will see how to implement these 5 steps in practice in less than a week. There will also be a survey bonus that helps identify personal triggers and accelerate results. Stay until the end. Your buy warranty wipe, you can retire sooner. Let's put the tools in the right hands and say goodbye to the clock locked in 3 in the morning. Prepared? So let's go to the applicable guide that starts in the next block. A 5-step plan puts body and brain in the same compass every night. It begins cooling the nucleus. Keeping the room between 18 and 20 degrees reduces the half-degree internal temperature. This light cooling warns the hypothalamus that it is safe to release deep waves of non-perm sleep. Soft fan or gel cushion helps control fogachos without having to open window in the cold. The less thermal variation, the lower the chance of microdisperts that fragment the rest. Then comes the light. Amber lamp or 2700K lamp after 20 hours save lock melatonin. Screens are out of the room or in night mode, thus the retina does not send a sign of noon to the brain. A warm shower followed by 3 cycles of the 4-7-8 breath activates the vagus nerve and drops the adrenaline. At dinner, protein-rich in tryptophan, ceylon, oats, banana, they have raw material for serotonin and hours later melatonin. Finally, 20 minutes of morning sun calibrate the meal genes in the suprachiasmatic nucleus for the next cycle. Practice together for 7 nights. These steps restore the complete sequence, not deepen remarine. Muscles gain repair, synapses consolidate memories, and the limbic system processes lower cortisol emotions. Simply put, the body makes maintenance as the mind holds important files of the day. When awakening, natural dopamine rewards with stable energy without having to double the coffee dose. It is the virtuous circle of repairing sleep, now within the reach of those who adopt the routine with constancy. To accelerate results, it is worth creating a Fogacho diary for a week. Use headboard and write it down, which you ate at night, and intensity of each wave of heat. When the record becomes mirror, standards jump, spicy spice, dark chocolate, or late wine. Many women find that suppressing only one of these triggers reduce awakenings in half. This personal map is more accurate than any generic advice and costs nothing but 3 minutes a night. The diary also helps to notice victories that tired memory usually ignores. Did you sleep half an hour longer? Less sweat? Mark with a different star or color. At the end of the week, the brain sees concrete progress and releases endorphin, reinforcing motivation. This little behavioral psychology trick supports the new routine until it becomes automatic habit. When the extra toalhina is no longer used for several days in a row, the notebook proves the change is real. Bring the registration to the doctor if questions remain about hormones or need for additional therapy. Clear data guide decisions about hormone replacement or sleep apnea tests. Professionals value detailed notes because they reduce investigation time. And the step-by-step is still worth even if any clinical adjustment comes into the scene. The goal remains whole nights, quiet mind, mornings full of disposition. The time has come to choose which of these 5 steps begins today. Maybe the amber lamp, perhaps the 4-7-8 breath. Try, write down, note how the body responds in the next 7 days. Each minute of deep sleep recovered returns clarity, good mood, and energy to enjoy life. If the content has helped, leave your like so that more people discover these tips. Share in the comments which step you will apply first and why. And subscribe to the channel, activating the bell to receive new videos about healthy sleep after the 50. Thus, the toalhina by warranty can finally rest in the drawer. Good nights are at a distance adjustment, and the internal clock thanks you for your attention. Your journey to quiet dawn begins now. Until the next video.